Anderson Cooper, AC 360, CNN weeknights 10 Eastern.
Representative Riddle, you told my producer that pregnant women are coming here as tourists, having babies, and then going back home, quote, with the nefarious purpose of turning them into little terrorists who will then come back to the U.S. and do us harm. You said it's part of an organized terrorist element and could cost us lives. Where did you hear that?
That is information that is coming to my office from former FBI officials.
What former FBI officials, I mean, what evidence is there of some sort of long-term plot to have American babies born here and then become raised as terrorists overseas and then come back here?
Well, at this point, I don't have the hard evidence right here in front of me. However, this is something that is being talked about by various members of Congress. This is being looked into. This is an issue with not only folks coming across our southern border with what is called anchor babies and coming over for the entitlement programs and for that sort of thing, but I think that this is a lot more sinister issue. All of these issues we need to look at because this is a critical issue for all of the American public.
But you have no actual evidence.
Other than that coming from former FBI folks.
Can you tell us who these former FBI folks are, and what evidence they have, or what evidence they've shown you?
At this point, I'm not going to reveal that.
I mean, if this is a real threat to the security of the United States, why wouldn't current FBI people be worried about it as well? I mean, why wouldn't this actually be...
You know what? That is a really good question because right now we have serious current threat that the government seems to be ignoring and ignoring on our southern border.
But they haven't told you any actual evidence, right? So you say some former FBI agents have talked to your office. Have they given your office actual facts or proof?
That information we are still gathering. But the point that I think you are trying to make is about folks coming over here, having their babies when they're not here legally, or they might have overstayed their visa, whether they're coming from south of the border or whether they're coming from Middle Eastern countries. We must protect and make sure the safety and security of the people of Texas and the folks of this country is secure. That's the #1 job of every elected official. And quite frankly, it is altogether possible to make a dirty bomb, stick it in a suitcase, walk it across our southern border, and take it to downtown Houston or any other city and blow it up and kill 1 million or more folks. Yet, why isn't the government taking that seriously? So you're questioning me on details of this, and they're fair questions, and we can deal with that now, or we can deal with it at a later time. But that issue with dirty bombs that can be walked across our porous border that our president refuses to protect and secure.
Okay.
Could endanger people today.
Right. Well, I mean, border security is certainly an issue, and it's a good topic. It's not the topic, though. I mean, you've made statements about these basically terror babies that are being raised overseas to be brought back here. I'm just asking for proof. You say you are still gathering it from unnamed former FBI people.
Well, actually, when your folks called me in the preliminary, that was part of the conversation. They did not tell me that you were going to grill me for the specific information that I was not ready to give to you tonight. They did not tell me that, sir.
Okay. Well, if you do have follow-up information, we'd love to get it. Representative Anchia, I mean, there are certainly wealthy women coming to the U.S. from other countries to have babies. I mean, this is known. Whether they're coming here in some cases for better health care may be true, but some are clearly coming here to have babies who are U.S. citizens. Are you concerned about this as a national security issue? Do you believe they are having future terrorist babies?
Well, let's deal with the myth of anchor babies, and that is immigrants are coming here for the sole purpose of having babies, and then somehow they're going to be involved in a nefarious plot to harm Americans. For that to rise to some sort of national security concern is really unsubstantiated. The 9/11 bombers were all here legally. The Times Square bomber was a naturalized citizen, was not an anchor baby. The person who tried to blow up Fountain Place in Dallas, which is my home, was here legally as well.
He didn't interrupt you. Just let him finish, then I'll let you respond.
Thank you, Anderson. The broader issue is, why are we having a discussion about quote-unquote anchor babies? If a person has a child here, that child cannot petition for their parents or a sibling to be here in the United States for a period of 10 years, and that petition can only begin after they're 21 years old. So the fact that for people to suggest that people are coming here and having babies as a way to anchor themselves on an undocumented basis in this country is just not correct. The law doesn't bear that out. Just because you have a child here doesn't mean that you can't be deported tomorrow. It doesn't mean that you get any special preference with respect to your immigration status. The fact is that nobody can, that a child who is born here cannot petition on behalf of their parents unless they've left the country for 10 years.
Representative Riddle?
Even in that case, yeah.
What about that? I mean, it's estimated in Texas about 60,000 babies are born every year to illegal immigrants, according to most studies. Do you have any sense, though, how many of those people actually came here to have those babies? It seems like, from studies I've seen, the majority of them are just people who are here working and have had babies. Do you have a number of how many actually you think are coming here in Texas specifically to have babies?
I'm going to have to flat take exception to what my colleague, Representative Anchia, had to say. The myth of an anchor baby. There's no myth to it. The fact is, it is documented. It is common knowledge.
Right, but do you have a sense of how many of, say, the 60,000?
It is common knowledge that over 81% of the babies that are born at LBJ Hospital right here in Houston are born of women who are not here legally. It is well known that women come over here, cross the border in order to have the babies here, because once they get here and once that little American citizen is born and becomes an anchor baby, and look, I'm a grandmother of 10. I love children, but the fact is, this is breaking the back of the taxpayers of Texas and the United States.
Okay.
It's taking down our health care, our education, and it is a huge burden. But yes, they are coming across to have the children for the entitlement programs, for the health and the education and everything else that goes with
Representative
it.
Riddle,
anyone that denies that isn't understanding the truth.
But my question is, do you have a sense, out of the 60,000 estimated children born every year in Texas, in your state, to illegal immigrants, how many are actually here for that purpose, and how many just are their parents are here working and they have a baby, or they've come because they want better health care in order to have the baby?
If they are over here illegally, they are not here legally. If they are over here legally, whether they're working or not, and they have a baby, then that would come under the term of anchor baby. And that is what we're talking
Anderson,
about.
If I can just
that
jump
is
in.
breaking
if I
the
can
back
just jump in on
of
that.
the taxpayers.
Okay, Representative, go ahead. Anchia.
Yeah. Thank you, Anderson. The reality is that an anchor baby, according to the terms that the Representative Riddle would use, is a baby that that a mother has here in the United States, if they're undocumented, in order to somehow anchor that undocumented family in the state. And current federal law does not permit that. It just does not happen under U.S. law.
You're not denying the point that some people do come here because they want their child to be a U.S. citizen.
Undoubtedly that happens, but I do not think it happens in broad enough numbers and big enough numbers to change the Constitution of the United States of America.
Representative Riddle, let me ask you about that. I mean, how much is this just about politics, about wanting to be seen to be doing something? The Attorney General of Texas, a Republican, advised the legislature in Texas back in 2007 that immigration is largely the purview of the federal government, and that basically as a result, a bunch of immigration bills in Texas were left to die in committee because the chairman at the time, also a Republican, said that the state would be tied up defending against lawsuits that they probably wouldn't win.
Quite honestly, it has now gotten to the point of border security. This is about security. Our border has got to get secure. The people are no longer asking to secure the border. They are demanding it. The emperor has no clothes, and I'm afraid the emperor who has no clothes is not listening. The people of Texas are demanding that our border be secure. That is the bottom line.
Immigration officers are permitted to turn away pregnant women at the border if they suspect them of coming here just to have a baby. Do you think that's enough, or would you support a blanket ban on pregnant tourists coming to the United States?
No, I think that what we need to do is basically what every other country does. There is not another country in the world where you or Representative Anchia or anyone else can go and be there illegally. And we need to secure the border.
That's actually not true.
So that we
That's
know.
totally not true.
Let me finish. We need to secure the border so that we know who is coming across. So that they can have a work visa.
Okay, Representative Anchia, your comment, and then we got to go.
What Representative Riddle and others in her party are trying to do are demagogue on this immigration issue for I would say less than honorable purposes about getting votes in November. And I think this short-term wedge is going to bite them in the behind in the end.
I appreciate both your perspectives.
And I think opening the borders and letting them through, as he's suggesting, is also political on his part.
Representative Debbie Riddle, I appreciate your time, and Representative Rafael Anchia, thank you both very much.